It's the 10 to 1 podcast with your host, Brad Oman, featuring Ben Konowitz and Nate Loucks. And here's the podcast.
I've got a surprise for you.
Oh, no, he's going to get it out.
It's not that kind of surprise. We got a co-host back this week. Welcome back.
Hey, Ben. It's great to have you back.
Hey, Timothée Chalamet, reintroduce myself. My name is Ben Konowitz.
Classic.
He's on fire.
He's back.
He's back.
Big Ben.
How was it missing me?
Big Ben brought his big round clock face back.
Big round clock face? Because of the London clock?
Yeah.
Is that what you're doing?
Yep.
Okay, fair enough.
And you know what time it is? Time to party.
Time to party. Time to get down on some Chalamet action.
Yeah, and you know what? But before we get into this new episode of SNL, Ben, I want to thank you so much for sending that impassioned and honest letter that you did so that we could read on the air last week.
I didn't listen to this podcast, so what did I miss?
Well, I appreciated the thought that you went into how much you care and believe in Brad and I.
How drunk was I? Did I send a letter?
I didn't sound drunk at all. It sounded like it was coming straight from your broken heart.
It sounded like it was a real come to Jesus moment, honestly.
And I think most of
this
our listeners,
all news to me.
Most of our listeners agreed with you that Brad and I are the heart and the soul of this podcast.
Oh, I gotta stop drinking.
Yeah,
but I just appreciated
and that you knew it was going to be better in your stead.
I really, really hope that the numbers went down.
No, our numbers are great.
Damn it.
Our numbers are great.
Top notch.
Top notch.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of fun. You know,
people love Dave Chappelle. So they probably just tuned in for that.
Okay, serious thing. Did you watch the Dave Chappelle?
Oh, of course, yeah.
What did you think real quick? Because you didn't give your thoughts.
No, I just thought, wow, that's a 45-minute monologue.
It was the longest monologue
that was crazy.
Yep.
And I just
second only to Dave Chappelle.
I was going to say, there were basically no time for any sketches whatsoever in that show. Like, it was crazy.
But did you like the episode?
I did enjoy the episode overall, actually. And I want to say almost in spite of how I feel about Dave Chappelle as a comedian.
We were both commenting how surprised we were that we thought the monologue was actually pretty fantastic.
It was.
Yeah.
It was. And of course you guys already did this, but I will just say Dave Chappelle, obviously a very, very funny person, a very talented, very smart. He's got
a future.
A very smart, genius level talent when it comes to comedy. Mm-hmm. When he directs his focus on some weird shit, the question for me is just why? Like, what's the point there? Are you really a passionate person? Are you really super anti-trans for real, or are you pushing buttons because you can and you're bored? And I think he's a multimillionaire who's bored out of his mind in Ohio, and so he wants to be relevant a little bit. Maybe he was finding a way to do that. I still don't respect him for any of that shit. I think it's horseshit, and I think it's punching down, and he can go fuck himself, honestly. But when he does his job correctly and punches up and gives a monologue like that, it was very well done. I laughed a lot. And I'm not going to separate art from artist too much by saying I'll never watch his stand-up ever again. I'm a fan of comedy in general. I want to watch funny things. Yeah. And so stuff like that. And I listened to Louis C.K.'s most recent album just to see.
Yeah. You keep watching every Woody Allen movie.
Oh, all of them. Yeah. I write him fan letters. Yeah. I'm like, you've done nothing wrong. Mm-hmm. I was like, me also.
And you've been in contact with Kevin Spacey too, right?
Twice.
Yeah.
Twice. He wrote me back.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah. And he was cleared of all charges, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, he still needs the money, I'll bet.
Yeah. that I'm sending him?
Yeah.
I'm a Patreon.
For $1,000 a day, you can sponsor Kevin Spacey's crotch massages.
Oh, no. That's Kevin Spacey's crotchmassages.com. So, yeah, no, I watched it. I liked the episode overall, but let's dig into the Chalamet.
Timothée Chalamet. Yes, Timothée Chalamet hosting for his third time and doing something wild by pulling double duty as host and musical guest. And as I mentioned on the previous episode, this is only the third time that an actor who has hosted without a previously established musical career pulled double duty as host and musical guest. Lily Tomlin did it. Unfortunately, half of what she did was in blackface as a male character, a fictional musician.
Whoa.
So just a sign of the times. And then Gary Busey,
the great Gary Busey,
was the other one
who he mentioned in his monologue. I thought that might have been a bit.
No, that's true. He played drums during a song after the Buddy Holly story was a thing, and when he hosted back in the 80s, I think it was.
Did you guys mention Bruce Willis at all?
No.
He played harmonica with the band in his monologue, and then Rick Moranis famously came out in the next episode was Rick Moranis hosting, and so he came out and played every single instrument he could as making fun of Bruce Willis for doing that. Yeah. I think that's hilarious.
Yeah, that is really funny. But he wasn't the actual musical.
He wasn't though. He just like vamped it up because he's like he was a musician.
And so this was particularly wild because it's the first time we've ever had an actor do something like this.
And very deep cuts.
Super deep cuts.
Bob Dylan songs here. And he mentioned that, right? He said this is the weirdest thing in the world.
And he didn't really do the Bob Dylan voice either. He kind of did on one, but it wasn't the full Dylan voice like you hear it in the movie. Yeah.
So let's dive right in. Let's go cold open.
All right. Founding Fathers cold open. The Founding Fathers are depicted signing the Declaration of Independence when they're rudely interrupted by a time-traveling Donald Trump who is everywhere right now. What did you guys... We talked last week about thinking that the political cold open wasn't terrible. Brad, what did you think of this week's cold open?
I thought it was actually pretty decent, honestly. It was a nice way to play with like what you would expect from a sketch that is dealing with current events, which is Trump becoming president again. And what I really liked about it is that they took a step back and kind of did a meta thing to themselves where it seemed like they were going to do some kind of sketch that provided commentary and satire by reaching back to the days of the Founding Fathers and like pulling back from, a tyrannical king and all this stuff. And then you have Trump interrupt it and provide satire that way. And so,
which is the third time they've done this type of cold open,
yes.
Right?
And so, and I saw some people complaining online like saying like, wow, like this is just self-parody. Like they're just shooting themselves in the foot. And it's like, no, you don't get it. It's intentional self-parody. Like they're making fun of themselves for doing something serious and then interrupting it and then doing something on top of that. There's layers here.
And not only that, we always talk about escalation being important. This is the third time they've done this. This is the best version of this that they've done because Lin-Manuel Miranda being there and purposely underutilizing him in that way was fucking wonderful. Like everybody was expecting, they're going to write a rap and he's going to get to sing it and then when that record scratch moment happens, and then James Austin Johnson as Trump gets to just lay into him over and over again, and he can't do shit about it. That's fucking funny. It was so good. And then of course, he breaks at the end, and it comes out again. Great escalation. This wasn't good. This was great.
Yeah, it was really good. Nate, what did you think?
Same. I really like this. Obviously, they've done things kind of like this, but what they do, the Republican debate. I remember when Trump wasn't doing the debate, they did that one. And then the Last Supper, right? Where same concept, everyone stops, Trump comes in. But I did like the difference in this one where it was more self-parody. James Austin Johnson trying to make Lin-Manuel Miranda break a little bit was fun. They didn't take themselves too seriously, which is helpful at this point. But yeah, I thought it was really good. I did go to Lin-Manuel Miranda's Instagram, and it's just so fascinating to me to see how this is all put together. Lin-Manuel Miranda wasn't in this sketch until Friday night.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So he posted on Instagram, Lauren called me Friday night, and I work up the street. So thanks to Paul Tazewell for getting my old threads out of storage. So that's actually the threads you wore for us.
That's so cool.
Great job, T. Love you, NBC. Happy 50th.
See, I want to see that behind the scenes where Lin-Manuel Miranda is putting him on and they don't fit anymore because he's gained a lot of weight.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on, you can do it, Hamilton.
But so yeah, really interesting to see that this actually was a very last minute addition. So I wonder what this looked like on Wednesday.
They probably, I would imagine they probably just had a different founding father, one of the cast members, playing them instead.
And somebody's like, "Hey, wouldn't it be funny if we can get Lin-Manuel Miranda?"
I mean, it's a get, right? He's still so fucking popular for that role, and now, of course, he's a giant superstar in other ways, but. I mean, that's the thing that started it all for him. So I loved, it's almost at this point nostalgia of seeing him as Alexander Hamilton. It's been years since he's done that.
And as a noted New Yorker, how much he loves SNL. I felt, actually, there was something about it that I'm like, good for him, right? Because just to get the call to be on SNL was a big deal.
I watched the Tom Green documentary that just came out on Amazon Prime.
Can we talk about that on Go Fix Yourself?
We can, but also I want to say...
I mean, we can talk about it now, but we'll...
Yeah,
I want to say
that Tom Green had the same sort of kind of like I can't believe pinch me a moment about Saturday Night Live, and you think somebody like that who's so wacky and off the wall, who doesn't really care, about how they come across in public, still has reverence for certain things.
Yeah.
And SNL is one of those things. So even a person like Tom Green, who's crazy and wild and weird, still has reverence for the show. It just goes to show you that it still is, and kind of always will be, at least under Lorne Michaels, kind of the pinnacle. The thing that you want to do as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
All right, moving on. Monologue by Timothée Chalamet. Tim Chalamet humorously reflects on his career, particularly his roles as Willy Wonka and Bob Dylan, and gives a mock awards acceptance speech, playfully acknowledging his lack of awards while handing a fake one to the great Kenan Thompson. What I loved about the monologue was, you see, because I know some young 20-some-year-olds that are growing facial hair just like Timothée Chalamet.
37
and
hairs.
I wonder if they know. You wonder if they're self-aware enough to know. And his comments on his facial hair made me laugh because I'm like, oh, okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
because you can ask my fiance Brittany. The first thing I said is, why does he have that trashy mustache?
Must be for a role or something
Yeah.
he's doing. But like it was hilarious.
It's awesome. So I really like the monologue, and I really like right at the end where Kenan is like, little bitch. Like, man, it hit hard. It was really funny.
And the cut to Chalamet when Kenan hit the award too, like the look on his face was awesome.
I think it's safe to say Chalamet gets SNL.
Yeah.
Like he does. He's one of those hosts that I trust now as an SNL host. He gets it. He has fun because he's also self-deprecating, right? The whole idea cut to him while he's losing his awards. And his face is very kind of somber, or it was great. I really enjoyed this. It wasn't the funniest one, but it set the tone for self-deprecating Chalamet, which I enjoy.
And him bringing up the fact that he's going to be the musical guest, and this is a really weird experiment. We're still doing it 50 years in, how they're letting me get away with weird shit. Like, again, it speaks to the history of the show, and like they're still trying to push the envelope.
Yeah. Anything else from you, Brad?
No.
All right.
Good job, buddy.
Thanks. All right, this one was a little weird. Bungee. In this fitness class parody, participants engage in a bizarre form of bungee exercise with Timothée Chalamet as the quirky instructor leading the class into this kind of comedic chaos. The most fun thing about this for me was...
the Jimmy Carter joke? Wow, Nate. Wow.
Oh, I love the Jimmy Carter
No,
joke.
it was incredible.
It was not bad.
It was funny.
It was obviously the whole spiel would have just been fun to be in one of those bungees.
Yeah.
I had
physical comedy of it all. But
I admire the set design and like getting everyone hooked up and everything like that. The sketch itself,
it didn't work for me.
Yeah,
Like,
it didn't really work
wasn't-
for it. There's some amusing physical stuff here and there, but otherwise it just felt like
It's clunky. It was just clunky.
Yeah, very clunky.
Clunky is the word, because I kept on thinking there's something not working in this, and there's obviously a lot of cuts, a lot of going from one person to another. You hear, like, I think Timothée Chalamet may have been doing something physical over here or trying to do something funny, but he's off camera because they're doing a close up to this person.
I think
it just didn't feel like connected as well.
A lot of times, what I think happens is, like, especially probably in the pitch, right, where it's like, okay, this is a very solid comedic premise, where it's like, what if there's a very simple exercise thing that women take very seriously? A boyfriend comes in, he's like, this is not hard at all, and the instructor is just a very weird guy. Okay, that's a good premise. How do we go from here? Mm-hmm. And then you flesh it out, and you get what you get here. It's just that premise by itself isn't good enough. There needs to be obviously more to it than that, and just the jokes weren't sharp enough, and it wasn't exaggerated enough, or whatever. Bringing the cake in and having a physical bit with that is fine, but again, it's not Lisa from Temecula where that really takes center stage and it's funny. So it's kind of clunky because it was just a little bit all over the place. Is it that the boyfriend and the instructor are going to get into it and get mad at each other, or is the physical comedy of the cake, or is it what's the point of the sketch? And they kind of went all over the place.
And Michael Longfellow was very funny, but it was still one note from him, right?
Yeah.
There was no escalation on his part either.
Right.
Because I don't know if he can escalate because he's just very calm.
I mean, listen, he's good at his thing.
All right, moving on. Medcast is a spoof commercial for a telemedicine service aimed at men, featuring various cast members in humorous scenarios to encourage doctor visits. Ben is someone who doesn't go to the doctor enough, but also is a big Joe Rogan fan. What did you think of this?
Come on, man.
Yeah, if Joe Rogan was your doctor, would you be healthier?
I'd be on that invectormecin or whatever it is, and I'd be healthy as a horse.
Ivermectin. But yep.
Oh yeah, it sounds like you know how to pronounce it, buddy. Wow.
Yeah, not that hard.
A couple cool podcast over here.
So this is becoming a very kind of a well for comedy right now, where hey, everything's a podcast and that's funny, and
I feel like they've done this.
They've done this a couple times now, and this isn't even the last time they're going to do it in this episode. So I'm like, okay, this is just it's fine. I don't know. It just didn't do much for me other than the premise is oh, that's clever. Like, yeah, what if it was like that? It just there wasn't a lot here for me.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of escalation for this one, but like I liked the framework. I thought that I
will agree, like the whole like. This guy likes to party. And how many drinks do you think?
Yeah.
Like, that's a fun thing. But again, it's not punchy enough. Like,
right.
It doesn't hit hard enough,
Dismukes definitely helped it along with his transition of, like, doing the podcast host to asking the serious doctor question.
Right.
But aside from that, I didn't feel like there was much more to it than that.
It's because again, you know what's coming, and so like when they say things like, "And we're going to make it easy to do a follow up." Hey man, would you like to be a recurring guest? How about 6 months from now? Like it just okay, we get it, but it's not. Again, I wasn't hit over the head with anything really really brilliant, But it was fine.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. Didn't hate it. It was fine, but it didn't. There was nothing groundbreaking about the observation about men not taking care of their health enough and men liking podcasts that connected enough for me to go, oh, that was brilliant. Right. The commentary was brilliant.
It hit too close to home for you, Nate?
Me too.
No, I go to the doctor.
I don't.
No?
I don't even know his name.
It's Hogan.
Dr. Hulk Hogan. No, I go to Dr. Paul Hogan, and actually he died, so.
Yeah. That's not a scalpel. This is a scalpel.
All right, moving on. New Barista Training. A comedic take on Barista Training where Timothée Chalamet's character makes inappropriate jokes leading to awkward yet, some funny interactions. Brad, what did you think of this one?
I like Timmy C in this one for sure because I thought he did a good job transitioning into like doing stand up at the Apollo basically. That was really funny to see.
I don't think you could do that.
Yeah.
Are you saying we should put all of that on the chalkboard?
Yeah, him jumping into that persona was funny in itself. There was something awkward about the pacing, and also for whatever reason, like I don't know why they went back to the well. Like I know why they went back to the well 3 times because rule of 3, obviously, but it didn't feel like it was worth it when they kept like judging Ashley Padilla's punchlines, which were just cheesy. And
I did like
I didn't mind that. Though.
I kind of liked it.
I like it in theory, but it didn't feel like it was executed well enough.
See, I disagree. I like them.
Kind of disagree too.
Okay.
I liked at the end where they're like, "Are you okay?"
Yeah. Well, especially because I liked it because there's a way to do it where they are really really terrible, and then you could call that person out.
Yep.
But I do love that they were almost as good as Devin Walker's. They're fine, and like Barista or whatever, and they still shit on her so hard. I really thought that was funny.
I think I almost would have preferred if it was a different layer of escalation, where it was like not as aggressively, in your face and over the top as Timothée Chalamet's, but somewhere in the middle of being weird and not quite like
Heidi Gardner's reaction. You mean?
No, of Ashley Padilla's like
her pitches.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I guess unpack that a little bit more for me, Brett. Was it her pitches was it the Ashley Padilla part, or was it the response to Ashley Padilla?
It was the
you didn't love?
It was the lines that they gave to Padilla.
Okay.
I would have preferred like a secondary level of odd or weird as opposed
to
like
if you're doing
I kind of viewed her, sorry Ben, but I kind of viewed her as giving the traditional what you see at most coffee shops.
But see, Devin Walker was already doing that though,
exactly.
So I think that if you're gonna make a pun on a barista,
you can have both of them.
You could do something where it's really weird and off-putting, like "Brr in my ass, it's so cold out." I'm like, what are you doing?
And granted, the reaction from Heidi Gardner and stuff and Mikey Day was amusing, and it did.
Is everything okay at home?
Yeah,
that's a funny line.
That's a good point. Yeah,
I get it though. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, no.
I still thought it was. I liked watching it. I thought I was fine.
Yeah, I thought it was fine. That's basically where I was at.
And like you said, Timothée Chalamet was great.
He's great.
Yeah.
And bringing Kenan on at the end as that whatever, that was just good.
This kind of filled the role of, for me, some of the things he was doing with Pete in some of the where he does the rapper kind of character.
I'm still holding
ridiculous.
out hope. Maybe we get that back for the 5-timers club, where it's just him and Pete.
He's gonna be like a 5-timer by the time he's like 28.
Oh, I can't wait.
How old is he?
He's I think he said 30.
39.
Timothée Chalamet is 65 years old.
No, he said he was just about to turn 30.
Yeah.
In the monologue. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's got to be one of the
He's
youngest.
37 hairs, and I'm
Yeah.
just about to turn 30.
It's got to be one of the youngest three-timers, right? I mean, at 30 years old, that's
Probably.
pretty young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. This one kind of reminded me of Brad a little bit. Oedipal arrangements. A commercial.
What
parody.
the fuck?
I've been to your house, man.
I don't know what that means.
Oh, by the way, Brittany is down here in the peanut gallery, and she laughed here. I think that was a little audible. So I'm pretty sure Brittany's on mic laughter corroborates our story.
Ben,
let me get with the
well,
description.
hold on. First, I want to say, Ben, I'm glad you brought this up. Just so you're aware, and I know that you're probably not aware of this, or if you are, you just don't care. Peanut Gallery actually has racist connotations, and you should probably stop using it.
We've been using peanut gallery for like 10 years.
I know.
I never do.
Yeah, we never say it. You're the one who says it.
Shut the hell up. You say it all the time.
I don't even remember the last time
On
I
the
said
10 to
it.
1 podcast, you say it all the time.
No, because we rarely have that, and so like I don't say it.
Oh, Charlie Young, I know you don't.
I know
you need to
you
do a deep dive for me.
I know you
When's the-
say it a lot.
I'm going to get a super cut of Brad saying it. 'Cause
And,
you say it all. Oh, fine. I didn't know that, and I'll stop using it. But I didn't know that, and you know that, so fuck off.
Nate.
I think you should also stop wearing blackface.
Listen, Lily Tomlin and I have. It was a different time.
Let me say this.
What is the peanut gallery from then?
No, it's actually
Are you being serious?
there is no it's not necessarily directly racist.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
I mean,
Thanks,
I
Brad.
think
It's more class than anything, but there was a period when like the peanut gallery would refer to people who sat in the cheapest seats at vaudeville theaters.
Yes.
Well, yeah, the pores.
It was typically blacks though. So
Yeah.
Brittany's laughing.
So, according to Stuart Berg Flexner, the term
that's a fake name.
I
Doris Corwin. What is that? Goodwin
Doris
Kearns?
Kearns Goodwin.
Yeah. And then what's this guy's name?
know.
Stuart Bang Flickster.
Stuart Berg Flexner,
This is totally made up.
who was a
He's just making up
lexicographer,
words.
editor,
That
and
is.
author.
This is a character that Roger does on American Dad. That's what
Yeah.
this is now.
All right, and so according to this Stewie, the term owes its origin to the United States' segregated South as a synonym with the back seats or upper balcony where the black members of the audience sat. The racial element of the term's origin is disputed, however, and absent from the Oxford English Dictionary and others.
Oh, thanks, Oxford.
So
I think you're right, though, Brad.
I'm just going to
Probably-
stop using it. I
it's
didn't
where-
know that.
It's where the poor people in that arena could sit,
right.
and oftentimes that was probably the black residents at that time. So
Yeah. So Ben, double whammy, I guess.
Cool.
but blackface definitely is racist.
And you know that.
I did know that, so I am sorry.
The funny thing is, he's just doing it for himself because
This is a podcast. This is audio
Yeah.
only.
All right, let me read the description. This is a commercial parody where a son and a mother share a bed with the father and girlfriend reacting in disbelief. A play on Freudian themes for laughs. Now, Brad, you live with your mother, correct?
That's correct.
This is like a gotcha moment. Now, Brad, you live with your mother. Is this correct? You're on record. No. You testified earlier that you do live, in fact, with your mother.
Preach.
What is it with you and preach tonight? By the way, this is the second time you said it. Once off air, one on air. Don't do that.
Well, you just said testify, so I'm just.
So, were you able to find the humor in this, or was it?
This sketch was so uncomfortable.
I'm not joking. I watched it alone, and I stood up.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know if I can watch.
No,
it.
I kept looking at Brittany and being like, oh,
It's so weird, especially because like I know those sketch performers.
Yeah.
I've seen them in plenty of things. They are clearly acting. They did it such a good job that it made me so fucking uncomfortable. Michael
uncomfortable.
Longfellow and Heidi Gardner looking at each other. I never want to see that ever again.
yeah, it was supremely unsettling.
Oh no!
I can't even believe this made it through.
That's what I don't understand. Like, I don't know who brought this up or who wrote this sketch, but the pitch for this, right? Can you imagine the pitch for this sketch?
Brilliant. Whoever wrote this is awesome. Like
Yeah.
this was fantastic. This hit the mark.
And
this did its job.
who was the one that at the end said, "All right, guys, great sketch. we do need to acknowledge that this is even weird for us.
Yeah, from all your
all the open minds at SNL.
Yeah, they had to actually.
We need to say something to acknowledge that we know this is
They had
weird.
to put a footnote on it, honestly. Otherwise, you just put it out there, and it's like it's just too weird.
Yeah. Also, it feels like maybe like they should have saved it for like Valentine's Day or Mother's Day. You know, like it feels like weird timing.
It is kind of
Well,
weird.
they're not going to have an episode though, right?
No, I know, but like you still could have held.
I mean, there's a folder you can put it in.
Yeah. But
If
no.
you- if you got it, flaunt it, buddy.
This is the first time in a while where I have felt simultaneously like
I was impressed, uncomfortable, and I found it very
and
funny.
laughing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's been a while since I've had like all those feelings at once.
No, this is a great sketch.
Yeah, very good.
All right, moving on. AI software, a classroom setting where a teacher uses videos of AI bots to educate students with Timothée Chalamet and Bowen Yang as the bots. Ben, did this work for you or not?
So this was one of those where you had really, really good moments and like, okay, what's going on?
Yeah.
The good moments were Bowen Yang and Timothée Chalamet playing off each other.
Mm-hmm.
When Timothée Chalamet, especially as a host, he's not a cast member, right? We all know that. His ability to talk over when he should talk over Bowen Yang and kind of interrupt, that is very hard to do. And I don't think a lot of people understand how truly hard that timing is. They crushed that.
Yeah.
The content of what they were saying, okay,
I
I get it.
Yeah.
They probably could have
Their
done a little better there,
performance
but
was
the
good, but-
performances were excellent there.
Yeah, I think
That's exactly what I thought.
there's a very interesting concept here they could have executed, I think, in a better way, especially because it seemed like they were trying to do something to make it look like an AI video where like the heads were like a little bit wiggly, like it is like when people like AI created people are moving
you
like in a
obviously
video.
you haven't messed with DeepSeek yet.
But is that something you do for porn?
It's the new AI model from China.
Oh, sorry, Elon.
Did you know about that, by the way?
Go on.
That China basically open source, like China released this like next level AI. Well, she's dead, but the
Doesn't mean
next
she can't come back with AI.
the next level AI, and it put a hurt on all these American companies that have been relying on one that's
Your
not
NVIDIA
quite as good.
is not great.
They're
today.
basically saying, "Oh, we're going to make money off of this," and then China just comes through and introduces a better one for free,
Finally.
and just undercuts all of Silicon
Good.
Valley.
It
and
makes
it's
it
just,
open
Fuck AI.
source.
Fuck AI.
Holy shit!
But no,
anyway.
they did. It looked like they were doing some kind of visual thing.
They tried.
Yeah, well, like to make it look a little bit warped here and there every now and then. But like, I didn't think it was like prominent enough to like make it work.
You know, it's interesting since some of our comments here. I feel like this episode had a couple sketches that felt like this episode had sketches that feel incomplete a little bit to me.
Yeah.
Like they were trying some things that did not work.
I also
fully,
think that-
but I see what they're trying to do.
It's very hard to force Uncanny Valley.
Yeah,
Like these are real people, and to make them look a little off so that it does feel weird is hard.
Yeah.
because it's quote unquote just SNL, so you can't do too much to do that. I did love the little play on the 6 fingers because AI has a really tough time designing hands,
Yeah.
and that's kind of infamous online. That was a very funny little thing. But again,
I have a hard time drawing hands.
the bay. Okay, that's
Have you ever tried to draw a good hand?
okay.
It is. It's very hard.
Nate's drawdown corner over here. You want to keep going on that, or
I'm just saying. Have you ever tried when you're sketching things
I sketch all the time, bro.
to draw a hand? It's very
How much
difficult.
time do you have on? You just have time to sketch?
Isn't that
Who
nice
and what are you
sometimes?
sketching?
Hands.
beautiful women.
hands, and it's really hard. No, man, I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't get into the hand sketches all that
So I'm
much.
just saying, hands are very difficult. So don't blame the AI.
Okay. Anyway, you're a sketchy dude. You know that. Overall, could have been better, but the performances were great.
I agree.
All right, Brad, get your phone out.
Oh boy.
It's time. It's time for a little Bradometer. We're gonna talk about the weekend update here with Colin Jost and Michael Che, and obviously weekend
You want
update.
my favorite joke from this weekend update.
Can you
I hope it's the same one that's mine.
hold on? First, explain the Bradometer for people, and
People
then
know.
we'll get to your.
People know.
Now, but I will for Ben's benefit since he wasn't here.
He wasn't here.
How'd you do it last
I
time?
want you to know I recalibrated.
He recalibrated
for the new
it.
year.
Oh.
So it was much lower.
Yeah, last week's score was
He finally agreed with us.
Okay.
Yeah, was it 78, something like that?
Yeah. And it wasn't terrible, but he recalibrated enough to where he's got to have room to grow because he kept on being like 94, 98,
Yeah,
102.
Yeah, so don't bitch.
Okay, well, finally you realized that you were wrong, so cool. So Bradometer is basically the interaction and interplay between Colin Jost and Michael J, how well it influenced Brad's opinion of how well Weekend Update went overall. Now, the jokes themselves are part of this. If they're better jokes, the number is higher. But overall, it really truly is just the back and forth between Che and Jost.
Camaraderie.
All right.
Friendship.
And last week was what again?
I think 78.
You got a number in there already?
Yeah.
I'm going to say 86.
79.
Oh, harsh over here.
I didn't think it was great.
Well, boop, 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 boop.
83.
That means I won because you went over.
Okay, again, it's not Price is Right rules.
It is. It is and always has been. And you know this. Yes, it was 83. It was.
So you liked it better than last week. What did you like this week that was connecting?
They just had a little more interaction.
They talked to,
yeah,
and especially after one of the jokes, Che literally said something to,
like you're a weird guy.
yeah,
something like that.
Kind of under his breath.
Yeah, and they had some good like glancing at each other and laughing. So it wasn't like full on interacting, but it was just a little bit more.
If your favorite joke of the episode of the Weekend Update was not the oatmeal joke, you can go fuck
that's
yourself.
That's what it was. Yep, that was
it's
my
such a good joke.
So
no,
people that eat oatmeal every morning live longer than those that don't. And what was the setup then? It was like, so you need to start eating oatmeal every morning, and then Joe's like, no.
Yeah.
And the way he said it, I rewound it 3 times.
I didn't expect it from him.
No,
at all.
it was
a great change in energy and vibe from him, and I
So
love
it's
it.
such a simple joke too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was great.
Yeah, I thought it was a good. I don't think they can be bad. Honestly, I just
They're
don't.
so good at their jobs.
They're very good. They're going to go down as maybe the best at Weekend Update.
I don't understand the people that hate them.
I don't either. I
Yeah.
don't either.
They're just doing it to be those people. That's all.
I think they're. Again, I'd have to go back and rewatch a lot of the Weekend Updates from
Okay,
before.
go ahead.
But I think they are more
Couldn't do that.
consistently funny than any other Weekend Update host.
Tina Fey and Amy Poehler
I was about to say
are
the same
probably
thing. Yeah,
the only ones I can think of that were as consistent.
Yeah.
They were fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
They brought
Every
it every
weekend.
single week.
Yep.
Jimmy Fallon was the weak point of Tina Fey and him, but he still had his boyish charm. He was good. Seth Meyers by himself was pretty great. There have been, and of course, then
Seth
you
and Amy were great.
yeah,
and that's what I said. They're not.
the really stuff was awesome with Seth and Amy. And
Colin Quinn.
you go back to no, but Norm Macdonald obviously has
Kevin
Kevin Nealon. I mean, everybody had their points, but
Chevy Chase.
as far as the co-anchor situation, it's in
Yes.
my opinion, it's Tina Fey and Amy Poehler, and probably Amy and Seth, and then Colin and.
Well, you put
and
him third,
Michael.
huh?
I think so. I would really have to go back and rewatch some stuff, but and again, that was more of my my love of. I mean,
That
I'm
era,
an
too. That
all-time
era,
Seth Meyers
right.
fan. I think he's hilarious.
I think I would agree with Ben.
Yeah. It would be very equal for me, right?
Yeah,
It
well,
would
and
be
again,
very,
these are stones throw away from each other.
Yeah,
They're
that's
all
what-
just at the top of their
Maybe-
game.
because I can't when I think putting another one above, if I think about Che and Jost above Amy, I can't do that
No, I
either.
can't.
But I also don't feel like they're that below either,
Yeah.
right? So
And
Maybe
it-
we'll have to go and do like a ranking of all the Weekend Update anchors sometime.
Ooh, that's fun. That'll be something no one will listen to.
we're really good at that. All right, let's do the Weekend Update bits. Let's first talk about Ego Nwodim as Giselle discussing tariffs. What did you think of this one?
I sent it to my friend Elise, who owns a salon and does extensions, and she thought it was very funny. It's a very niche thing, obviously, but it was fine. I like the comparison of being like twins with Michael Che. That was kind of fun.
Yeah. No, I do think that this hits a niche of like.
Is it niche or niche?
It's niche, but he went with niche. It's fine.
It hits a niche.
Nike?
Yeah, of a certain audience, and like this is definitely comes from like the black population, and something that probably like a lot of people don't even think about is that probably like hair could be end up being really expensive, and for people who constantly get extensions and all that kind of stuff, like that could be a big thing.
Is that why you just said because it just doesn't apply to you?
It just didn't connect? it didn't connect with me, and I didn't think that there was anything that was like particularly hilarious in it as far as punchlines.
Is it because you can't afford extensions?
I feel like it would have been better as a stand-up bit as opposed to a Weekend Update bit
Yeah.
with a character.
I agree.
Fair.
Because conceptually, it is funny. Like it's like
Don't backtrack now.
it hits a good cultural touchstone, but in this form, I
We've
think
kind
it
of
didn't
already
work.
canceled you, but
Yeah, it's okay. You can kind of come back next
Oh,
week.
hey, talk about the Peanut Gallery again.
all right. Andrew Dismukes with Puppet Dad. I thought about you with this, Ben, because I thought about.
Oh my God, I paused it when I was watching this one with Ashley, and I go, Nate and I are going to have a talk about this.
I thought about us, and I thought about this might be something we talk to our therapists about bringing in a puppet.
A
And
father puppet. Hey, son, I just want to let you know that I'm proud of you and I always will be. This is so Andrew
has to
Dismukes.
have a dad like us because this humor hit me.
Perfect. What was it like to have a very supportive dad?
Yeah, you probably didn't laugh at this at all.
It was amazing. I loved it. And
so this sketch really didn't hit you.
My dad was like a puppet. That's how much he loved me.
Like he was like saying those things organically and for real.
Yeah. It felt really good to be boosted up.
You didn't need to like physically craft a marionette to speak through your father and do the same voice.
No, I got hugs. I got support. I got words of affirmation. So get it cool, Dad.
Yeah, and then the Lord took him from you. So that's what happens.
And now I need a puppet ghost.
But for those of you who don't know, Brad's father has passed on, and we're still stuck with ours.
Thanks for being very formal about it, Ben.
For our new listeners,
those of you who don't know, Brad's father has passed.
Brad's dad is dead.
He's dead. Yeah, he died on 9/11. No, in 2021.
Yeah, not the big event.
That was just awkward. Okay, moving on.
So yeah,
he did die taking down other towers, though.
Jesus Christ.
They were big cell phone towers.
I thought you were the big snow towers. Yeah, he died shoveling snow.
Got him.
Well, anyway, we were about wrapped up. Or?
All right, moving on. This one is called Dog Run.
Woof.
It's a sketch imagining dogs as humans at a dog park.
Oh man, I just have.
What'd you guys?
My mom always said, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all.
I do think that there's a little nugget here of something that's humorous though, like Chalamet, the casual tone with which he was speaking, some of the stuff that they said and did was amusing. But
this is just such a missed opportunity.
Yeah, this felt like an all that sketch.
It was just so easy and basic. There's so much.
You don't know
better
what all
than
that is?
I was too old for all that.
Yeah, me too. Actually, it was after.
That's sad. You guys missed out on some great Kenan Thompson years.
But this is a very I get the vehicle, right?
Yeah.
It's and obviously the production value is there, and they dressed everybody up and had them up, and then the things that they were doing. Sure, Bone Yang's got the Zoomies, and I get it, but man, it feels like there's so much left on the table here.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I agree. It was like, hey, let's write a list of silly things dogs do, and then we'll have. It just felt very generic improv.
So here's one thing that is nitpicky as shit. But I think that this right off the bat could have set the tone a little better. Do you remember the very first physical comedy bit that happened? It was the sniffing of the butt.
Yeah.
Right. And if you're gonna go for it, you need to put your nose physically making contact, and that would have been really funny because wow, they got in there. That would have set the tone for the whole sketch, in my opinion. But he was like 3 feet away, kind of, and it's like if you're doing a sketch like this, either go for it or don't.
You got to go with the. It
just felt.
Kate McKinnon,
and
put it
really
right
put it all out there, because it just felt like kind of phoned in. Then
I agree. I do think some of the lines were funny though, like the you eating anything new lately? No, just the food that's in front of me. There's the food that's in front of me. And the one bit that I thought was particularly funny, and because it has echoes of a bit that I love in the movie They Came Together, is Kenan Thompson just puking up the grass over and over again.
That was honestly that one. I laughed very hard.
I couldn't believe they did it as often as they did for Saturday Night Live.
Same. They didn't cut away, so it was definitely the same thing over and over for real.
Exactly.
And that's the commitment to the bit that I'm talking about. Like, go for it, right?
Yeah.
So that's one thing that did work in that. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, this missed opportunity for something that could have been a lot more fun. I think.
All right. This is I'm going to call this the Sarah Shermanist of this episode. Grandma's birthday. A birthday party turns chaotic when Timothée Chalamet's character attempts an unconventional CPR technique on the grandmother played by Sarah Sherman. This was so bizarre, and I loved it. I really thought this was funny. Did you guys not like this?
So I think that I was so caught up in trying to make sense of where they were going that
watch it again.
I couldn't really enjoy it in the moment. I think you're right. I think this is one I would have to watch again, because it's not that I hated it, but I was like, where are they going with this?
That was exactly my process. The first one, I'm like, this is super bizarre,
but I don't hate it.
But the second time I watched it, I'm like, okay, this is really funny. It is really dumb.
And was it Kenan was the one that was like, "Don't come near me"?
Yeah, exactly. And so when you have a little bit of expectation, because this is such a bizarre sketch, right? So bizarre. When you have just a slight expectation of where it's going, and you can watch it for the little bits of humor and the lines and the facial kind of physical comedy part of it, it's actually really funny. What did you think of this, Brad?
I thought it was okay. I think that it was a really funny, weird concept. I didn't think that there was a lot to it, though. I think that's where like my hang up was, is there wasn't really any evolution of the joke beyond just like, did he just fart and bring that woman back to life?
Right.
And so like some of the reactions were, and the confusion was amusing, but I wasn't like,
but don't kiss me,
Yeah.
right. And I saw that coming because
They set up the 315 kiss every whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I did like Kenan Thompson being like, don't say anything, and just like letting himself. But yeah, otherwise I thought it was okay.
You know what I loved about it too, though, is like I said, text me after you watch it again and see if you feel this way. But I watched it again, like I'm watching so many smiles with the cast member. It just feels like a sketch they were having so much fun in. And you hear, if you listen to some of you hear more like little snickers, like from the different cast members, as they're going through, that it was so dumb. And I'm sure, just kind of throwing this out there, this sketch idea, I'm sure Sarah Sherman had something to do with it. Like it just, they started laughing. This seems like a sketch comedian's sketch, that they like doing things like this. So I had fun with it. I thought it was funny enough for me.
Fair enough.
Decent sketch. All right, moving on. An SNL animated short. Have we done these?
No.
I felt like this was new,
Yeah,
right?
It was. An
SNL animated short, God.
So this was very interesting. I liked it a lot. That premise has been done a lot on stand-up comics have done it. So this is a well-worn path. However, it was unique enough where I still thought it was pretty funny. And you got to remember, this is still, even though it's edgy sketch comedy, it's still on NBC on a Saturday night, and so religion is really a pointed issue in this country, and so that does press the envelope a little bit, especially the style of animation that made God's eyes look fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Sometimes that really made me laugh, like how frustrated he was getting, and just the weirdness of God in this sketch set that apart from, I think, the other stuff, because the stand-up I've seen about this and some others, I was like, oh, well, God probably sent that one out unfinished. But they don't really necessarily get into describing what kind of God this is, and they did a very good job of kind of filling in the background of who this God character would be in this. I really thought this was clever.
Yeah, it was interesting. It felt like an Adult Swim cartoon almost, like just a weird random bit you might see like late at night sometime on Adult Swim. But yeah, the animation is weird, and it made it funnier, I think, than it would have been if you just did normal animation. Having Chalamet do like that voice for God, where he's kind of just being himself in a way, was funny.
I also thought this was very much a very, very much cut for time type situation.
Yeah.
The good nights were like 11 minutes long. So like the
sketch was only 2:30.
So they clearly ran out of time to do something, and they put this in there, and then had the good nights be extra long. So because again, that was one of the longer good nights I've seen.
What do you mean?
Like when they were panning on the good nights of the cast and everything.
Yeah.
Like it feels like they allowed that to go on for a lot longer.
You watch it recorded, right?
I watched this time. I watched it. I watched the next day on Peacock.
Oh, you watched the next day on Peacock.
On Peacock.
Because it's the credits are always like
on every episode.
Yeah, and they're full.
So you're telling me that when they go to Timothée Chalamet and he says, "Hey everybody," blah blah blah, once he starts talking, that is a timed thing that is always exactly the same amount of time?
Not when he speaks, but the credits rolling themselves.
So what I'm saying is, from when they, like, if you're treating that like a sketch, right? The last sketch of the night is technically the good nights, let's say.
Yeah.
That sketch was longer than normal, in my opinion. I think that it was longer. So that plus this little fill-in, to me, that means
you mean the space from when he says thank you to when the credits start rolling?
No, when he gets out on stage immediately and then the show ends completely.
Yeah.
That entire block of time was longer than it normally is.
Oh, I didn't think so. But like, I don't know. But I'm also used to, I don't sit and watch the entire goodbyes because I have it recorded from YouTube TV and it's from the NBC Chicago affiliate. their next show will
See,
like
I watch,
break into
I
the
watch the
different-
whole thing
Yeah.
all the time because I'm watching the cast interact with each other
Yeah.
and stuff. And sometimes it's like, oh, if they're running out of time, they kind of cut that short. Yeah, the actual credits go by, but then they cut it and it's done.
Oh, so the credits were done and they held?
I'll have to go back and watch it, but I'm pretty sure the credits were done and they kind of just like slowly kept panning out.
Oh,
and
I
it was
I didn't see that. So that's
yeah,
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I thought that coupled with the fact that they had an animated thing at the end meant like, okay, well they're trying to fill some time here because
Right.
maybe the last sketch there was 4 minutes and they only had 3 minutes and 30 seconds. So this is what they did instead.
Interesting. Okay.
That's all I meant by that.
Maybe they just wanted to make sure that he had enough time to wish his sister a happy birthday.
Yeah, that's definitely what it was. Or do you think Adam Sandler, who wasn't even on stage anymore?
But he was there.
No, he's like Adam Sandler, and he pointed out in the audience he wasn't up on stage with him.
He's hanging out.
Oh my gosh. Why are you being so obtuse right
Sandman loves hanging out.
now? Okay, are we done? I'm done with this.
All right, let's do MVP of the night.
Kenan Thompson.
Kenan, why
Yeah.
Kenan?
He was. I think we've mentioned him like 6 times tonight.
Mm-hmm.
He was the best part of everything that he was in.
The best part of everything.
Yeah, yeah, he was great. Oh, sorry, I kicked the mic.
The best part of waking up.
He was the dog show.
Keenan in your cup.
He was the. He
no,
was the
I
best part of
fully. I agree. Keenan was the best.
Okay.
The best cast member of the evening.
that. Okay.
I was gonna give it to maybe Michael Longfellow just because I felt like for Michael Longfellow he had a good night.
Sure.
He was
Sure.
in a decent amount of sketches. But if you're gonna really go to, it's kind of like are you gonna give it to the guy that is really great? That's always
He
great.
was-
Kenan was.
He
great,
was in a
right?
lot, and he
Yep.
did a lot in the sketches that he was in, and he was funny in all of them.
For sure. Yeah, I can't argue with him. All right, sketch of the night.
Oedipal complex or whatever, edible arrangement.
Edible
I
arrangements.
mean, it's just I haven't felt that unnerved watching a sketch in a long time.
Yeah.
It just really made me uncomfortable, and I love that.
It was a special kind of comedy, very, very unique, very unsettling.
Well, if you're saying was it the funniest of the night? No, but it absolutely made the most impact.
Because it was so weird.
Yeah, it was so. It was honestly hard to watch sometimes.
Yeah.
and I loved it.
Yeah, for especially for you that doesn't like uncomfortable comedy.
I don't.
and
like-
someone who's super attracted to their mom.
Yeah, no, my mom's hot, but I don't like that.
Did you agree that was your favorite?
Yeah.
Okay.
What did you think?
I had a hard time. I didn't think any sketch this episode was great. I didn't, and that kind of saddens me because I love Timothée Chalamet.
This
and
episode did feel like it was under what we would usually get from Chalamet.
I was waiting for a peak. Right.
We didn't
waiting
even
for-
get a song this time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So,
Like, we had no tiny horse. We had
Yeah.
no.
The departure of Pete Davidson, I think, hurts Chalamet overall because that buddy that he had with them, it was just it just kind of elevated his performance.
Yeah.
And he doesn't really have another cast member he's doing that
I mean,
with.
but he brought Pete Davidson back.
Yeah, I was gonna say Pete wasn't on the cast when
No,
Chalamet
he
was
brought
on
him back.
last time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm telling you right now. So what do you think was missing, guys? Pete Davidson from this episode.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying
Yeah, I'm just saying,
could
like-
have brought him back.
Yeah,
and he
exactly.
didn't.
And they did. Well, exactly. That's my fucking point.
so they should have brought him back.
Exactly. Oh my gosh.
No, but Ben, have you thought about that? Like, what if they brought him back?
Yeah, like cast members can come back to the show.
No, Adam Sandler, did he introduce us?
All right, that's enough from you guys in the
Yeah.
peanut gallery, okay?
Wow, he hasn't learned his lesson.
I don't learn
He
lessons.
never does. He
Yeah,
never does.
Never learns anything.
I gotta go touch up my makeup.
If I had to pick one, though, I would probably go with.
Deborah.
I'll probably go with new barista training. I really liked what Timothée Chalamet was
That was
doing
funny.
in
It was funny.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was funny.
All right. Hey, we don't have any new episodes, traditionally new episodes in February, but we do have something new in February. What is it, Brad?
Valentine's Day.
No, we've got the 50th anniversary show.
Yes, February 16th is when the 50th anniversary primetime special is happening on Sunday, not Saturday. Don't fuck it up.
Do you guys want to get together and watch it?
Yeah, we're gonna get together and watch it.
No, you said,
We're gonna have some.
Nate, shut that down real quick.
We're gonna get to watch it.
I got stuff to do.
It does look like they're not going to have any new episodes until the 50th anniversary special because they did not announce any new hosts or anything like that. And we've got 2 weeks.
And that's a lot of logistics to pull together. I mean, you imagine everybody that came in with the 40th that is still alive will be there. And now you've got another decade to fill.
Actually, 3 weeks we have until the special.
But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know, 100%.
So like you're not going to get anybody that went to the 40th that will not be at the 50th, at least invited, right? Like those people are all timers.
yeah, I bet Louis C.K. is not going to be there.
I mean, he might be. Dave Chappelle's there.
Rob Schneider will be there.
Yay.
Making copies. Like literally, he's going to be doing.
Actually,
That's the only job they're going
it's,
to give
it's
him.
just a copy of Adam Sandler's contract with him to keep him all his
I
movies.
really
Yeah.
can't wait for the sketch with Rob Schneider, Jim Brewer, and Victoria Jackson.
They're just gonna put them in a cage and keep them off to the side.
It'll be that cage that Eugene Levy was in and when he hosted.
Yeah,
and they'll put the three of them in there.
Yeah,
it'll be a fart box.
And Nicolas Cage will be in there, and as Andy Samberg.
Okay.
In the cage. But no, we're going to have an episode right after that special happens. In between there, we're going to have a couple kind of retrospective episodes. And
we'll try to do one. Let's not get too
let's just say
ambitious.
one.
We're going to do 5 retrospective episodes between now.
It's like being too ambitious.
Anytime that you make us do research, we really don't like this.
Oh, it's so hard
It
to
is.
have fun and watch a comedy TV show that we
like
love.
an article.
Well, let's,
like for work.
let's do work for Brad. Well, I got my top 20 Weekend Update anchors of all time ranked. And it's like, oh, hey, guys, all you got to do is watch every single Weekend Update for the entirety of the show.
It's not even hard. But no, so I talked about this on the last episode. There are 4 SNL documentary episodes as part of a special docuseries called SNL 50 Beyond Saturday Night. Those are all available on Peacock now. But on top of that, tonight, Monday, the night that we're recording this, a new
January
documentary episode is premiering on NBC about the SNL music side of the show. And so that's airing, and we're going to watch all of those and talk about them on an episode before we get to the 50th anniversary special.
I love it.
According to SNL's fandom page, fandom.com page, there likely isn't a new actual episode until March 1st. So we'll figure out stuff to do in February, like you said.
That would make sense.
We'll have an episode.
There's going to be a lot to unpack with the 50th.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Because
Well,
I believe the 40th anniversary episode was like 3 hours with commercials.
This should be 3 hours.
yeah.
all right.
Who's ready to get horned up?
Me,
Yeah, Nate?
me and Goat Boy. Horned up.
Okay.
On that note, on that
Solid ending.
on that,
I did my best.
like peak of comedy, we're
You're
going to
all
end this
welcome.
podcast. Hey, Brad, where can people find you?
You can find me on slashfilm.com. Sometimes I do stuff about Saturday Night Live, but, you know, the reviews weren't really getting the clicks. So. But, you know, I still like to talk about it, and I'm on Twitter
Brad
at
Oman
Ethan_Anderson.
fired from the position of writing the reviews because they weren't getting the clicks. So hey, all you listeners, thanks.
Yeah. But you know what? I did write a nice story about how Chevy Chase and Bill Murray got into a fight backstage.
Yeah.
During the original.
When did that one go up?
Like a week ago.
Good
or something
clicks?
like that. Sure.
Got a lot of clicks on that one, guys.
I don't know.
So thanks for clicking on that.
But yeah, so you can find me there doing stuff, and you know, we have a podcast called Go Fix Yourself.
Yeah,
we'll talk
you
about
can
some
find
stuff.
me on GeoCities.
Mm-hmm.
Still got an active page talking about my 2000 Mustang
Good.
and Monty Python.
And Zanga for me.
Yep.
Yes.
So I'm still live journaling as well.
Yes.
So,
My SimCity 2000 walkthrough videos are still live.
all right, rate and review us. Leave us some comments. Let us know what you thought. Well, who was your MVP of the night? Favorite sketch? And, you know, where Brad got it wrong on the pedometer is always fun.
Always fun.
Or just like other comments about Brad. It's
Being
fun.
wrong.
So, all right, we'll be back in a couple of weeks. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. Bye-bye.